anticipation. Big-time matchup between the Spurs and the Knicks.
Brunson off the dribble, right wing three. Have some of that.
Spurs trying to get it back to single digits. Wembanyama, pump fake. Wembanyama throws it down. Oh, baby, over Anunoby.
That's not the answer. No. Bridges all the way in for the flush.
San Antonio throws it away. Harper forced a pass inside. Read by Bridges will go coast to coast for a two-hand slam. It's a game-high 18-point lead for the Knicks.
And the New York Knicks will snap the Spurs' 11-game winning streak. They fall to the Knicks, 114-89.
That's right. It's a happy Monday here in New York for those Knicks fans. Good morning, everyone. Shea Cornette here with you. Vincent Goodwill with us as well. Stephen A., good morning to you. Brian Windhorst.
Hello. First of all, let me see Vinny for a second here. Let me see what he rocking this morning. So now we went from being sharp as a tack and rocking the tie and everything, and then all of a sudden we gonna change up because Dan Orlovsky and others try to come on without the tie, and then I came on without the tie because I had a wardrobe malfunction because I spilled something on it, and now we feel okay. He been 2 weeks on the damn job, and look what he doing right now. We'll deal with you later. Wendy, it's good to see you with the tie. Shay, I hope you had a beautiful, wonderful weekend and the whole bit, and we'll get into it later, but we ain't gonna start off the show today without me giving props to my alma mater, Winston-Salem State University. The women's basketball team won the CIAA championship for the first time in history. Girls! Oh, I'm loving y'all right now. I'll deal with y'all later. I'm going to talk about you more later. But I'm so proud. I'm so proud of my Winston-Salem State University and the women handling their business, doing what they do. I just wanted to start out the show by giving love to my peeps down at Winston-Salem State. Now we can start the show.
I love that. Congrats to the ladies. That's awesome. Thanks for putting us on that. All right, let's go to the Garden and what happened yesterday, because the Spurs went to MSG and they were on an 11-game win streak. They were shut down by the Knicks, 114-89. Spurs started strong. They jumped out to an early lead, but the Knicks and that 26-2 run propelled them to the W. Mikal Bridges had 25 points. Jalen Brunson had 24. It was all too much for San Antonio, who committed 22 turnovers. Here's Wemby after the loss.
You guys had a month where you didn't lose, and then to all of a sudden have one pretty rough afternoon. How seriously do you take that? Do you see this sort of regression to the mean in a way?
Regression? Yes. No. I don't see any regression. I think it's good for us to see this kind of adversity. We want to play the best teams, and this is a top playoff. It's a top seed team, it's a playoff team, experienced. They know what it's like, and they gave us a good showing today.
I think give Wemby an extra large mic because he's Wemby. What's going on there? Anyways, Vince, you were at the Garden. That was confusing. Vince, you were at the Garden yesterday. You witnessed this all firsthand. Obviously, yes, the Spurs were on such a win streak, and then it all kind of came crumbling down yesterday. Does this say more about the Knicks and where they're at, or the Spurs and where they're at?
Stephen A., prepare to grab your heart. Prepare to tell Elizabeth you about to come home to her, all right? Because I think it says a lot about the New York Knicks. I think this is the most complete game offensively and defensively that I've seen this team play in quite a long time, especially on the defensive end. San Antonio came in this month shooting 50% from the field, almost 40 from three. They were completely shut down. Victor Wembanyama had 7 turnovers, he had 22 overall. Steve, it shows me that on a given day, the Knicks' best game is as good as anybody's best game in the NBA. We didn't say a word about Karl Towns. We didn't say a word about, is Jalen Brunson dribbling the ball too much? We didn't say anything about the things that normally come up for the Knicks whenever anything goes wrong, and that's because they have so many weapons. Look, they threw Diawara out there, and he was taking a shot a minute, and it didn't even bother him. And that's why I'm not predicting the Knicks are going to the finals. I'm not backtracking off anything like that. But it's good for the Knicks to see that on a given game, high-stakes competition, Victor Wembanyama, who put up 40 against you in the Garden last Christmas, the NBA Cup and all that stuff that happened in December, that they can raise their game on a given night and play complete basketball. It was actually surprising to see, and I know a lot of Knicks fans were happy to see that, just like you.
We didn't say anything about Karl-Anthony Towns. He did such a good job on Wendy. There was nothing really to say. Go ahead, Wendy.
Did you see Shea when Victor was? We just ran that clip of him in the post game, and he was talking about the Knicks. He said they're a top. And then he thought about it for a second, because this is what happens with the Knicks. You go, they're a top 2, 3, 5, 7, 1. It depends on the day, because obviously he was pretty impressed yesterday with them, but I'm sure he watched other film where he hasn't been impressed. And look, this is just what the Knicks fans are going to have to come to terms with. Your team can beat anybody, and your team can lose to anybody. Now, if you take a step back, Stephen A., the Knicks have been playing some pretty good basketball. They've won 14 of their last 18 games. That's not unbelievable, but it's pretty good. I read in Vince's story today that he wrote on ESPN.com that over the last month, they're the number 5 defensive team in the league. I think their numbers from January 1st are right about the same spot. We know they can defend. And look, if you're expecting Mikal Bridges to look like Scottie Pippen every night, like last night he has 25 points and 5 steals, you're going to be let down. You think Karl Towns is going to look like Tim Duncan, although he had his 41st double-double yesterday. That's the most in the league. If you expect that to happen every night, you are going to be let down. And I hear the New York Knicks fans being let down, talking about what they don't have. But this Eastern Conference is flawed, guys. And the Knicks, when they're at the top of their game, as they showed yesterday, can beat anybody. And that's what we're going to go into this playoffs knowing.
Well, listen, contrary to what you believe, Vinny, I'm not going to sit up there and say that this was, it's a shocker for what the New York Knicks did. I'm pleasantly surprised, and I think this says more about the New York Knicks in certain respects. I'm still going to go with the Spurs as the answer to this question, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But let me look at the New York Knicks for a second, because it is my team. I mean, it's a beautiful weekend between the Lady Rams and Winston-Salem, and now the New York Knicks. It was a beautiful, beautiful Sunday for me. Beautiful, beautiful, okay? But let's get to the bottom line. When we look at the New York Knicks, did we see an aberration? Did we see what we should have been seeing all along? Did we see what we expect to see when it comes to Mikal Bridges having 25 points and 5 steals on 59% shooting? The answer to that is no. We need that on a more consistent basis. I'm looking at the Karl-Anthony Towns, averaging 14 points and 9 shots over the last 3 games. Is that going to get it done in the playoffs? I don't think so. I think I need to see him be a bit more aggressive, more assertive, and more involved. But nevertheless, the New York Knicks handled their business. They went on like a 26-2 run. They were absolutely sensational in the second quarter. This is after they've missed 14 of their first 18 shots. So major props to them for turning this around. I'm going to tell you why the answer to this question, Vinny and Wendy, is more about the Spurs. Didn't Kendrick Perkins come on national TV last week and pick the San Antonio Spurs to go to the finals? To win the number 1 seed in the West. Correct me if I'm wrong, Wendy. I think he did.
I think he might have said he was going to win the whole title.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. He said number 1 seed in the West, going to the finals. And I don't recall whether he said they were going to win it all or not, but I know he said they were going to the finals. They were going to be the number 1 seed. Obviously, long road trip. You can't expect them 26% for 3-point range. They looked lethargic for the last 3 quarters of the game. That's not the San Antonio Spurs team we can expect to see. Do we really expect to see Wemby commit 7 turnovers? You know, do we really expect to see that 1 of 7 from 3-point range? I don't think we can expect to see that from him. Can we expect to see a De'Aaron Fox and a Castle to be as anemic as they were? No, we don't need to expect that. We don't need to get caught up in that thinking that that's going to be a continuation. We don't need to expect that. I think that would be a mistake on all of our parts. But still in all, watching the Knicks run them out the building the way that they did yesterday, particularly with Wemby having about 25 and 13, it does bring into question how reliable all the other dudes around Wemby are going to be come playoff time. They won't be as exhausted. There won't be any back-to-backs in the postseason. But still in all, they're a relatively young team. And when